Good afternoon, I'm Glen Fu, and this is MediaPlex Live at 1. Today is National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Here in Windsor, police officers responded to a complaint at a Windsor hotel on Sunday, February 17, where they found one adult female who allegedly was victim of human trafficking and forced by an adult male to work in the sex trade. They had traveled to Ontario from another province. The male suspect was charged with human trafficking and a number of other charges. His name is not being released to protect the victim's identity. The case is currently under investigation, and police ask anyone with more information to contact them. A Windsor man has been sentenced to 4 months in jail for a hit and run that occurred almost 2 years ago. John Valancourt will have to remain in jail for a total 120 days, minus 3.5 days already served. Last October, Valancourt pleaded guilty of leaving the scene of an accident in May 2017. He hit a 60-year-old pedestrian while making a right turn onto Orlet Avenue. Valancourt got out of his car after the man was dragged for 90 feet. He said due to the height of the track, he could not see the man. Valancourt drove away as the man was being attended to by bystanders. What is free and could save life? Jim Murphy solved the riddle.
The blood donated to Canadian Blood Services here in Windsor could save someone's life. Someone like Windsorite Samar Nora, who was diagnosed with aplastic anemia at the age of 11.
The disease that I had stopped my bone marrow from working, so my body was not creating any blood whatsoever. So the bone marrow creates stem cells that turn into red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and so on. And so my body was not producing any of that, and so that's why I needed daily blood transfusions to keep me alive.
Local blood donor Tom Cooper was at Canadian Blood Services on Grand Mares Road this morning. He stops by there to donate every 8 weeks for the last 10 years because he knows just how important it is to give blood.
Well, there's always people in the hospitals who need blood. I myself am O positive, so I can donate to anybody who is positive. So it's really good on a medical standpoint. You never know when you're going to be in the hospital needing blood yourself, so it's always good to pay it forward.
I'm here at Canadian Blood Services to show you just how easy it is to donate blood. All you have to do is pass a quick screening test, fill out a questionnaire, and then you're ready to donate. It's quick, it's easy, and it could save a life. For MediaPlex News, I'm Jim Murphy.
Students at the University of Windsor shared a meal and ideas at the TED event last weekend. Juliana Bonnet found out the event helped students feed their bodies and minds.
Time is a valued commodity, but this didn't stop over 100 people from spending their time at the University of Windsor's 2nd annual TEDx conference on February 17th. It's About Time was the focus of the self-organized event. Guest speakers shared their ideas about what time means to them. Attendees shared a meal and conversation, which gave the University of Windsor students an opportunity to talk with the speakers one-on-one. The conference, held at the Center for Engineering Institution, features 7 speakers talking about experiences ranging from surviving a breakup to mental health awareness to computer sciences. Organizer of the event, Miliana Majolkovic, said she was excited to be able to participate in this year's TEDx conference.
So for the event today, we actually began with our TED introduction, and then we went on to feature 2 speakers as well as a TED Talk. And then following that, we had activities, lunch. We featured 7 speakers throughout the day, and they all show their own different, unique perspective on time, which is our current theme.
Robert Franz, music director of the Windsor Symphony Orchestra, who spent his life around the timing of music, was one of the guest speakers.
I'm thrilled to be here today. This is my first TEDx experience, and it was really, really fun. First of all, doing my talk, which was called Active Listening and Our Perception of Time. And the idea was, for my talk, was how our concept of time is changed depending on our engagement with what it is that we're doing, and in particular, in my case, listening to and engaging with classical music.
From MediaPlex News, I'm Juliana Bonnet.
They say art is the eye of the beholder. Curtis Marty tells us more.
Artists don't always work with paintbrushes or cameras. Fashion artists specialize in fabrics and design. And local fashion artists displayed their artwork at the first Art on Culture fashion show at the water's edge, sponsored by the City of Windsor. The event showcased a variety of artistic clothing developed by several local artists and designers. Samantha Enriquez, one of the artists featured at the show, said it's important to showcase one's culture.
I think it's a good way to get everyone to collaborate and maybe grow and just bringing everyone together through art, and it's a really good thing. I think it should be done more.
Artists' designs interpreted what culture meant to them and what inspires them. Stephen Drowan, the coordinator of the event, said culture is more than just someone's heritage and where they come from.
Culture is many things. If I could break it down to you, if I were to name my mannequin, I would name them culture. Culture is a mannequin, and when I say art is on culture, I consider that the art on culture is the sense is that art is on us as people.
Profits from tickets sold benefited several organizations, including the Windsor Youth Center and Arts Council Windsor and Region. For MediaPlex News, I'm Curlis Maddy.
This past long weekend was an opportunity for families to spend more time together. For some families, it was learning about Canadian history and art. Rim Goodmorning explains.
401 Riverside Drive was a center of activity over the weekend. The building is home to both the museum and the art gallery. Curator of education in the art gallery, Chris Finn, noted the difference between the two displays.
We do have temporary exhibitions, plus we do have on the third floor an extensive collection of works from our permanent collection. Since we have been collecting for the past 75 years, we have about 4,000 works that we can put out a certain portion of those either for a short term or a long term. And we currently have 150 works on display in a long-term exhibition that has just been opened in the last couple of months. And it's works that range from historical European and Canadian works that date back to the 17th century through to contemporary art.
Children visiting the museum on the first floor were able to see local art mixed with history. Local artists also organize a unique activity each week.
It's a confidence booster for children when they're coming in because they don't have a particular set of skills. So if they come in not knowing how to sew, for instance, when they leave with a finished project, I see a lot of smiles on children's faces. So helping build that confidence through the arts, I think, is important.
You can view historical European and Canadian works on the third floor of the museum. For MediaPlex News, I'm Rim Goodmorning.
The ladies' Saints basketball team has made the playoffs. They beat the Sioux College Cougars last Saturday. St. Clair hosted their first playoff games on Saturday at 2 against Seneca College. Now, Amos Johnson joins us from outside to tell us the weather forecast.
Thanks, Glenn. Today is mainly sunny with a high of 2. Tomorrow will consist of periods of rain with a high of 6. Also, if you plan on being outside on Sunday, be prepared for lots of wind. A statement released by the government warns that following a cold front in this area this weekend, winds may reach up to 110 kilometers per hour. It's possible buildings and power lines could be damaged, and in addition, there will be flurries and snow up to 5 centimeters. Visibility may be reduced very quickly without warning, so please be cautious Sunday.
Well, Amos, what can people do to prepare for these high winds?
So the most important thing you want to do is secure any objects outside your home that could turn into flying debris.
Thank you, Amos, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Glen Fu, and this has been MediaPlex Live at 1.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.